I believe card games are easily the best way to introduce folks to new gaming experiences. For one, there's so many games that are inspired by different subjects or themes. There's magic or superheroes, even space travel. You can guarantee there's gonna be a game for everyone out there. Second, card games come in all forms, like dueling card games or cooperative games. I find that new players have a better time learning a game when they're encouraged to ask other people for help. And third, a very simple golden rule in most card games makes them pretty easy to learn. Read what's on the card. There may be some keywords or icons that you just don't recognize yet, but that'll just take a quick glance at the game manual to get grounded. I'm going to break down my 3 favorite card games to teach people and what specific features I think make them great for new tabletop gamers. You're watching MisterBoredGamer, the hobbyist on a mission to make tabletop gaming more accessible to black folks, inspired by blurs everywhere. Appreciate you for watching. The first game I ever purchased from a local game shop was Sentinels of the Multiverse by Greater Than Games. That is definitely where it all began for me. Sentinels is a 2 to 5 player cooperative card game where players fight as a team of superheroes, each with their own unique deck of abilities and equipment. The goal of the game is to defeat the villain deck together. Most folks interested in gaming have had some heavy exposure to superhero mythos, and the entire aesthetic in Sentinels of the Multiverse are directly inspired by comic books. They even have their own self-published comic book series of the same name. Cooperative card games allow players to support each other. In Sentinels of the Multiverse, your team of superheroes is encouraged to discuss who you should target next and what attacks you should prepare for in the next turn. There are dozens of heroes, villains, and environments to try out. I have replayed Sentinels so many times that I've seriously lost count. I'm a Sentinels fiend. Each deck is unique to that specific character, whether it's a hero or a villain or the environment, which tends to have a personality of its own. Outside of setup, new players can dive right in by following the golden rule. Read what the cards say. The turn order of Sentinels keeps things simple as well. On a hero's turn, they'll play 1 card, use 1 power, then draw 1 card. It's up to you and your friends to assemble the best team and stand strong against great evil. But keep in mind, the environment deck is not always on your side. The more hero decks you practice with, the better your game comprehension skills are going to get. That will make it easier for you to learn other games and new mechanics for different card games. Next up, Magic the Gathering, the granddaddy of all trading card games. While there's no shortage to deep tactics or expert strategy in Magic, the community and game lend themselves to players of all skill levels. Trading card games like Magic are most commonly 1v1, where each player controls 1 deck versus an opponent's deck. There are other variants, but mainly that's how most people play. In Magic, players use land cards as resources to summon creatures, create artifacts, or cast spells to attack their opponent and win the game. Magic pushes new gamers to think about the future in turns. How many lands will I need to play this creature? How long until I can strike my opponent and get closer to victory? Learning to plan ahead and protect yourself until the right moment is an important skill for many tabletop games. This may seem like a no-brainer, but games like Magic can get players to think in unconventional ways. And starter decks are built with that in mind. Pushing new players towards dominant mechanics or resources in a specific set of cards will give them hints on how they should play the game. Magic is not the only card game I'd suggest for new tabletop gamers, but given its long history and current options for online play, it's one of the easier games to learn and enjoy right now. I've heard from many of you on Instagram in my messages that you still have your Magic cards or Pokemon cards from when you were younger, and same, I've got them all. So trust me when I say that Magic the Gathering is a timeless game. Now, if you've at least practiced these skills a few times, reading exactly what's on the card, managing your resources, thinking a few turns ahead, then I think it's time you cross over into board game territory. Clank by Direwolf and Renegade Game Studios is a 2 to 4 player deck building game where you take on the role of thieves and treasure hunters exploring an abandoned castle. Deck building games start every player off with the same exact cards. Each turn, you will spend cards and use them as resources to take actions or add new cards to your deck. When a player runs out of cards to draw, they just shuffle their discard pile to refresh their deck. Clank is my favorite deck building game simply because it uses a board in such a unique way. You're not just building a deck, you're building a set of treasure hunting tools to explore the dungeon and escape the dragon in the deep before it devours you and everyone else. Clank relies on building a great deck and paying attention to what's happening on the board. It's a great entry point for people who are familiar with card games, and the map elements provide plenty of challenges to veteran tabletop gamers. What I hope you take away from this video is the wide range of options in picking games to learn or teach. That won't feel overwhelming if you focus on the right features. I hope this video was helpful. Let me know below if there's any specific games or genres that you'd like me to talk about, which could make gaming more accessible to you. And lastly, thank you so much to everybody who subscribed and commented and shown appreciation for the mission. I want to hear from you, or the black gamers in your life. Let me know, what are you into? What do you want to see on this channel? How can we play some games together? How can I teach you games? I'm going to be doing something really big this holiday season for some black youth, and I hope you guys will all join in. Thank you so much for your support. You're watching Mr. Board Gamer.